Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Upgrade to the home of your dreams with Manny and Courtney from CMK Construction. CMK Construction is Tampa's award-winning kitchen and bath leader for over 20 years. Right now, save $3,000 on a new kitchen and $2,000 on a new bathroom. And take advantage of our no money down and no interest financing until 2026. Imagine, design, build.
All right, so here we are. It took a moment, but we're back. Getting it all figured out. But welcome to DPL, Denis Phillips Live. And here we are on a Friday evening. And let's see. So we've got quite a few people on Facebook who have already said hello. So let me just welcome you all. Mary Roberts, Laisha Moore, let's see, we have Sandy and Brad James are here, and we have Anna Maria. She was one of the first to log on from Largo this evening, 7:30, right? So we are going to be doing commercials today because we are both broadcasting as well as on Facebook. And so hello to Ryan, and hopefully you are no longer just seeing a dark screen. Hopefully now you are getting the feed. And Dominic from Lutz, hello. And Julie Edwards, hopefully it is no longer frozen for you. Travis, hello and good evening. Kay McGee, Randy from Brooksville, and Kim, yes, we did have some technical difficulties, but hopefully they are all resolved now. And okay, so let's see. So we've got Priscilla, and she is saying, greetings from FP. How does a flight look for my family member this early morning from Lakeland to Puerto Rico and San Juan? Wow, that is a lot of information. So they're coming in from Lakeland around 10 o'clock. Lakeland to Puerto Rico. Okay, so it looks like they're going from Lakeland to Puerto Rico. So at this point, you're ahead of the front, so there really shouldn't be too much of a big deal. There is a chance, though, that there could be some fog. So I would say that if you're going to have any weather-related problem for tomorrow morning, that's going to be it, whether you're coming and going from this area, wherever you may be headed, that would be it. And let's say, well, Captain Phil from Largo, hello. Bucks game forecast. When is the Bucks game? I am not the sports person here. Everybody wants to know the Bucks game. Let's find out when the Bucks game is. Either somebody tell me when it is, or I will look it up. Bucks game schedule 2025. Okay, so let's see, 1 o'clock on Sunday. So 1 o'clock on Sunday, we are looking at, oh, okay, you know what, gosh, this is so funny. Never mind, I'm not even gonna say it. No, okay, so 1 o'clock on Sunday, this is the deal. Let me give you the forecast, and I'm gonna spell it all out for you as to what is gonna happen with the rain over the weekend. And hopefully we'll answer a lot of questions all at once. So this is WSI. That is the computer we want to look at. And now you're gonna get it. Okay, so right now, nice and sunny, nice and clear. My head is still somewhere else. So clear skies, all is looking good. We all know we have a frontal system headed our way, so we know we have rain ahead this weekend. Right now, we are still on the warm side. Southerly winds, 5 miles per hour. This is bringing in a lot of moisture, so that's why our dew point is now up to 72 degrees. Humidity levels quite high. It's a little hazy out there. And today we made it to a high of 81 degrees, and that is well above the average. But what's, I think, even more interesting is the morning low. We started off at 67 degrees, and on average, we should be around 58. Tomorrow morning, the temp is going to be even higher. So our moisture levels are really coming up. When our dew points are up in the 70s, the temp in the morning cannot drop below the dew point. So if we have a dew point right now of 72 and it stays at 72, tomorrow morning, the low temps are going to be right around that level. So as a result of that, you know that means we have a lot of moisture. If we have calm winds again tomorrow, that moisture can just linger as fog. So right now we don't have any rain in the immediate area, but you do see those showers that are off to the north and west. They're starting to try to move into Citrus County, but not doing a great job of it. So they're falling apart. This is the very front line of that frontal boundary. And so this is kind of falling apart here tonight. We're losing some energy. We're past sunset. And so this, as it continues to develop, we may see a few showers move across the area overnight. But look at tomorrow morning. The rain, that line that we're looking at that's offshore right now, only makes it to about I-4, or a little north of I-4. And then it just sits in that same spot through the afternoon. So 5 o'clock at night, it starts to fall apart. And then at midnight, we get another bit of rain associated with the front starting to build in to Citrus County. And then that starts to fall apart and just move off to the east. So all through the day on Sunday, we actually have breaks in the clouds if you're south of I-4. So this is where it becomes important for that Bucks game. If it starts at Sunday, 1 o'clock, and this futurecast holds, it's looking dry for the start of the game. And then as time goes on here, this is 7:30. So you're probably done and gone and back home by this point. So I'm gonna reverse this a little bit. So 5 o'clock, if this all verifies, you're getting out of the game, the Bucks game on Sunday, completely dry. Because as you know, the Bucks, you know, you can see right where the word Tampa is about where the stadium is. So we'd be in great shape if you are headed out to that game. Now, for the players, it's going to be hot. The temps are going to be near 80 degrees. It's going to be humid. So for the players, you know, Tampa, we're fairly, you know, accustomed to that kind of weather, but, you know, maybe the Saints not so much. So it may, you know, help us, but it, you know, may work in our favor in that regard. But as far as the rain goes, if everything holds together, we are looking like we're in really great shape for spectators going to the game and for the players not having to worry about, you know, rain during the game as a complication. Now, as far as the rainfall totals go, this is also really good because most of the rain, if it comes in overnight or late on Sunday and into early Monday, we're getting nice soaking rain that we really need right now, and we're getting it in an off time when we're not typically out on the roads or when it could be problematic for whatever your daytime activities are or if you work outside. So that certainly is all working in our favor. But we're looking at nearly an inch of rain in a lot of areas over the next couple of days. So that is certainly helpful when you consider that we are in a drought across much of the area. But like I mentioned, the other concern that we have weather-wise outside of the rain is going to be driving overnight. So you may not get the rain overnight tonight or early tomorrow or even early Sunday morning, but you could have some pretty dense fog if you're going to be driving about. So definitely want to be aware of that. I would say that could create more of a problem than the rainfall throughout Saturday and early Sunday. So the dew points here, we're looking at them again right now. We're in the upper 60s to low 70s, and they're not really coming down. Now they fluctuate throughout the day, that's normal. But Monday at 11 o'clock in the morning, we're just starting to see them dip into the low 60s. That's the first evidence that a frontal system has come through and that the drier air is starting to arrive. And then after that, we'll start to notice the temps really coming down. So here's a look, if you haven't seen the updated drought monitor. This is how far behind we are and how much of a deficit we're in when it comes to rainfall. So right now, close to the coastline, we're in a severe drought in that darker orange tone, and then you look inland and that beige tone is a moderate drought, and then farther inland we've got a dry, it's considered to be dry but not necessarily a drought. So we can use the rain, we're gonna get some rain, and it seems overall fairly well timed. So Anna Maria, you are reminding me to keep an eye on my break times. Remind me what time is my first break. Oh, it's right now? Okay, so when we come back, we'll go to the break, and when we come back, we will go over the 7-day forecast. Thank you guys so much for, so the first break, let's see. So thank you so much on Facebook for the reminders about the breaks, because I lost my little note card that told me. I thought it was something like 40 after, and I'm supposed to hit 3 of them, right? Oh, Stephen Zayak, how are you? And Melissa Shay, hello, how are you? And yes, Stephen, I will tell my husband that you said hello. That's awesome to hear from you. Great to see you. So Michael O'Donnell, are they on TV tonight? I don't know. So you guys must have been talking amongst yourselves, because I don't understand that question, but I don't have to understand them all, right? I'm going to scroll back here through some of the questions and see if I can get any of your questions answered. Sunday launch at Kennedy Space Center. Oh, that's looking questionable. So Kennedy spent 440. You know, they may still be ahead of the rain on Sunday, but they scrap a launch due to weather for all kinds of reasons. It doesn't always have to be because the rain is on top of them. Their rules are just so different than what... It's hard to say. That's definitely a tough one. All right, so welcome back to those of you who are watching from the spot. We were just talking about the launch at Kennedy Space Center on Sunday at 4:40 and whether or not weather could come into play for that. And I do think that there's a possibility, even if the rain is still to the north, sometimes they will, if the winds pick up too much ahead of the front, if there's any concern, it really is a much larger radius around that area where they consider rain. It doesn't have to be just right on top, or if there's lightning nearby. So I think there's enough factors that there could be some issues with that launch for sure, I would say, given how strong this front is that's coming through. All right, so let's get back to the forecast. Okay, so we were talking about tomorrow morning. We're going to start off near 70 degrees, and then through the afternoon, we top back out near 80. So we're still very warm for tomorrow, topping out near 80 degrees around Tampa. We've got the upper 70s to about 80 along the coast, and then we'll be in the mid 80s inland. So you can tell we're definitely still well ahead of the cool air tomorrow. And then in the 7-day forecast, here's how the big changes all come together. Monday, we're looking at a slight chance for some rain. So what that means is that the rain chances come to an end pretty early in the day. We're still starting off in the morning on with mild temps in the mid to upper 60s. And then in the afternoon, the temps don't get all that high. So we're down to 74 as a high temp and just a slight chance for rain. And then the rest of the week, we have lows overnight that are in the 40s and low 50s, below average, and then afternoon highs are going to be in the 60s to about 70 degrees all the way through to the end of the week. So that is a nice stretch of below average weather for this time of year. So very cool, dry, low humidity. And for those of you who like that kind of weather, it's a nice long stretch of it. But between now and then, we've got this rainfall and the warm temps and the humid conditions. And hopefully that is all going to work well in our favor here as we head through the weekend. And it seems to be pretty well timed overall, I would say, with what, what's going on as far as big activities. I know there are some other fun activities going on throughout the weekend. Somebody's talking about a yard sale tomorrow. And, unless you're in that one spot where the rain is going to develop tomorrow, right around I-4, and you keep getting that rain on top of you, it's not going to be that, it's not going to be a complete washout. Even in that area where the rain sets up tomorrow and starts training in that same area, you still get breaks. So you know, it'll be off and on and there might be some heavy downpours, but it certainly won't be a complete washout. And yes, a foggy start for tomorrow. It looks like it may not be dense fog across the entire area tomorrow morning, but there will be some dense fog for sure, especially if you are south of I-4. All right, and our next break time is 7:48, so we're gonna make sure to hit this one right on time. And Shelly, you are more than welcome for answering. You're more than welcome for answering that question. Let's see. So any fog in Gulfport, St. Pete Beach, coastal. So yes, there's a chance for fog in all areas. This is not necessarily sea fog where, yes, and somebody did ask that. What's the difference between sea fog and inland fog? So sea fog would occur if you've got the air that's moving over. Typically, it's colder air moving over warmer water causes that air to cool to the, or that moist air just above the Gulf waters to cool to the condensation point, and then it moves inland and you've got that sea fog or Gulf fog. And then inland, it's when you have really moist air that cools and condenses. It's just low fog. And when your winds are very light, you will get it just lingering at ground level. So if you have wind speeds that are above 5 miles per hour, you typically will not get fog settling. You really have to have winds that are below 5 miles per hour in order to get inland fog. Whereas with sea fog, your wind speeds can be above 5 miles per hour because it's actually moving the air over the water. So trying to think, what else with sea fog? Sometimes it's the cooler, I'm trying to think if it works in the reverse. I haven't thought about sea fog in a while. But nonetheless, this is not a sea fog scenario. This is an inland fog issue, but you could still see fog along the coast just because it's calm winds and there is a lot of moisture. So let's see, I thought the rain was going to hit this morning going through Saturday. So Melissa, no, I mean, we have some chances for rain, but not really, not today. We have some chances for rain tonight in our northern counties. And then tomorrow we have a slight chance for rain, but the bulk of the heavy rain from the front is not coming through unless the models are completely wrong, which has happened before. But it looks like it should be coming through on Sunday evening, late afternoon to early evening. All right, we're gonna hit this next break on time here and we'll be right back. All right, so break number one. Okay, so what are we talking about? Trying to answer more questions here. Brad